Hello, hello, it is me once again, finally back with you, Councillor James from the Workers' Party of Britain. Yeah, it's been a while, quite a while. I'm not quite sure how long since I last posted a vlog up here on my The Struggle UK channel, YouTube channel. Not quite sure, a month, maybe more. You'd have to look. You'd have to look at the last video when that was. But yeah, I've unfortunately, a couple of reasons, I've been ill with some sort of mysterious illness that affected my breathing, so I wasn't very well for quite a month and a half, 2 months maybe. It's just some building work outside you're going to hear. Got my window open. Get a bit of air in here in this old terrace house. Not very good ventilation here. And also my sort of tech, my piece of tech that I always rely on, my little 7-inch Amazon Kindle tablet thing, started to die a death. So I've had to wait. I've had to wait until I've had any way of sort of getting a replacement. So finally, here's my replacement. I'm recording on now, talking to you on now. So finally, I'm back, and it's been a very eventful month. It's been a particularly busy and eventful past couple of weeks. Not so much here where I am, but for my party, the Workers' Party of Great Britain, and a by-election that's happening not too far from me, not too far from here. I'm in Wales. It's just over the border, really, in the northwest, in West Yorkshire. And it's a hard fought by-election, which, yes, well, okay. Why would I be interested in James? Why would I care about that if I don't live there? Well, I don't live there, but it's a crucial by-election because I don't like. I'm a bit of a political geek, obviously, because this is what I do. I'm a councillor. This is my sort of part-time job, basically. When I'm not doing my day job, as it were. So it's important because if like me, you are one of the millions and millions of left behind, forgotten, taken for granted, working class voters of this country whose vote and support Labour has been counting on and expecting, just expects for decades, for literally decades, where you live, if you live in a working class area, a poor area, a deprived area like this one where I represent, where I live. It's crucial because this by-election in Barley and Spen in West Yorkshire could possibly spell the end for Sir Keir Starmer's Labour. His flavour of Labour that apparently nobody wants. Nobody fancies a chew on. And from what I'm hearing, I haven't been able to make it up to Batley myself, unfortunately. But many of my comrades from the party and friends have been up there over the weekend, just gone. Today's Monday the 28th, I think, of June. I've just been there over the weekend to help campaign. George, our party leader and candidate, campaign there. And from what I hear back, extremely favourable, extremely optimistic messages back from local people that we're speaking to. More importantly, local people that we are listening to. That's what Labour do not do in my experience, and I have long experience with Labour as a Labour councillor, you know what I mean? Running for election with Labour 4 and a bit years ago, seeing Labour operate as a Labour councillor for three years or more. Labour take working class people's votes for granted. Labour, if you're in a Labour area with a Labour council that's voted Labour for living memory, particularly if you're in a poor area like Barley and Spen, where the roads are covered in shell craters that resemble potholes, that where no money is spent. From what I'm hearing, from what I'm getting back, from when I see the hustings and listening to what locals are saying, where no money is spent on the working class areas and population and what they need, but of course is spent on the more affluent parts around there locally. Pretty typical Labour, I'm afraid, from the Labour Council. That's how Labour operates. I'm afraid that's how Labour operates everywhere, because they know, or they think they know, and in the past they've been right. I'm afraid they've had every reason to believe this, that we as working class voters, they believe that we had nowhere else to go. Literally, who else are we going to vote for but Labour? So, in my experience, Labour don't even, if you're in a Labour area, Labour don't even work hard for your vote anymore. They just expect you to vote for them. So I say to the people of Barley and Spen, don't. That for your sake, for your interests, don't just give Labour your vote this time. Because why would anything change? Why would Labour change their behaviour? Why would this time, when you vote for Labour, why would they this time suddenly focus on you and spend the money that hasn't been spent on your area now? Why would they? They've already, as far as they think and believe in their minds, got your support and got your votes. And I feel here, maybe where you are in Barley and Spen, and other places all over England and Wales, and it's been borne out from recent by-elections in England particularly. It's been borne out with the Assembly elections here in Wales, that Labour believing, Labour knowing that you and I, working class voters, will just give them our votes without them giving us something back for our votes. The days of that are over, are literally over. And I'm afraid, as bad as you may have thought Labour were under Corbyn, if you did think that, Labour under Starmer for the past year and a bit has been an absolute and 100% gold-plated disaster for the Labour Party, but mostly, sod the Labour Party, mostly for you and me, working class people. Because Keir Starmer has absolutely no interest in what we need. Absolutely none. His supporters within the Labour Party have absolutely none. They don't know people like us. They don't understand people like us. They don't want to understand people like us. Have a talk to if you can get hold of one, a typical sort of toes the party line Labour politician, councillor or MP or whatever, and see how much they listen to what you've got to say. Because in my experience, they don't listen. This is why I left the Labour Party. They don't listen. They tell you what they think. They tell you what a great job they think they and their party have done for you. They tell you how grateful you should be. There's an innate sort of arrogance often in the way they sort of approach people and talk to them. And they only approach and talk to them at election time, in my experience, I'm afraid. And see how much they listen to what you've got to say, to see how much time they give you to actually get what you want to say out, and what the response is, if it's a genuine response or not. I'm sure there are some Labour councillors who are good people, who are people that, like me at the time, actually believed Labour was something it's not, which is there to represent the working classes. And I'm sure I know there are some that are still captured within Labour. I'd appeal to you, my friends, to cut your losses, ditch Labour, leave that ship, that sinking ship, and come and join us in the Workers' Party. We do what it says on the tin. We're a Workers' Party, completely made up of individual working class members, quite a lot of us ex-Labour members who've seen what Labour are and what Labour aren't, who understand what I've just explained to you. So, have a think. Think on. Good old Yorkshire. Think on, my friends, my comrades. Is Labour really going to give you what you need this time, after all the years of ignoring you? Have a think. And if you think, like me, that there's a fat chance of that, then perhaps you'd consider lending us your vote and voting for the Workers' Party candidate, George Galloway. So that's me out for today, and I'll be back on here following Thursday, which is polling day in Barley and Spen, to have a chat about how it's gone and a little breakdown of the voting and see what that means. Have a little bit of a analysis of what it means for the people of Barley and Spen, the voters for Labour and the Tories and the Workers' Party. But for now, take care of yourselves. Try and have a nice day. Easier than 7 sometimes, isn't it, than done. And if you got a bit of sunshine, enjoy it. Take care. Ciao for now.